life is not about being selfish. I mean, look, there's times I've been selfish in my life. I mean, we, all have at times, but I think being able to help others as much as you can should, I think that's what Jesus wanted us to do, right?
So one of the products we talk a lot about on Gun Owners Radio because we love it so much is Seal One. It is a cleaner and a lubricant, and the company Seal One has been absolutely wonderful to Gun Owners Radio and San Diego County gun owners. And today we have the pleasure of having a special guest, Dwight Settle from Seal One, to talk a little bit about Seal One, but then we're going to talk about something special too that you guys are doing, right?
Yes.
Well, thank you for being on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be with you guys.
And thanks for all the support you do. I really, truly am just touched and honored that you roll up your sleeves and get involved. Seal One, you guys do things to financially help us, but you personally do things to, help our programs. You attend our shooting socials and our dinners and all that other good stuff, and really make it happen. And I really appreciate you.
Well, thanks. It's you go through life helping others. That's kind of what it's supposed to be, right?
Supposed to be, yeah. Some don't. Some
Right.
don't go through life helping others. But
Yeah,
you have a long history of service in your life.
Yes, yeah. I just I believe in helping others. A hand up, not a handout.
Now, what does that mean to you? What does it mean? What's the difference? Or
Well,
how do you see the difference?
it's kind of like the old saying. You teach a man to fish, he'll eat for life. You give a man a fish, he eats a meal.
Yeah.
So I believe in helping others who want to help themselves. It's it's life is not about being selfish. I mean, look, there's times I've been selfish in my life. I mean, we all have at times, but I think being able to help others as much as you can should. I think that's what Jesus wanted us to do. Right.
That's awesome. And we're here to talk about an organization that you're a part of and a program that you guys are going to do, an event that you guys are going to do, and it's called Beyond the Teams. And teams being, I'm assuming it's a reference to the fact that you were in the Navy and served on the SEAL teams.
Correct.
And so the charity is it a bunch of SEALs or what's the connection?
Yes, that's how it started. So Beyond the Teams began. Its origins really started about 15 years ago when the founder, Mike Charbonnet's, and he was in the teams with me. Mm-hmm. He was a couple of years ahead of me. I think most of the guys there, they were in class 98. I was in class 104. And so Mike's two sons followed him into the Navy and into the teams. Well, his oldest son, David, had a parachute accident when he was at SEAL Team 1, and he's a paraplegic. Mm. So David Charbonnet, you could look at kind of what he's doing right now. Being a paraplegic, he did the 1,000-mile kayak paddle on the Yukon last year.
Jeez.
But he only got 600 miles through, and
only.
The seat that they had for him didn't fit in the boat. So they had to, jerry rig something, and it wasn't working. And he was, after those 600 miles, the bed sores that he was getting, he couldn't go on.
Couldn't go on. True.
It was going to, being out in the wilderness and, getting infections is not good.
Yeah, it's 600 miles still. That's about 599 miles than most people, row. So that's amazing.
Yeah. So David Charbonnet, when he was going through recovery here in San Diego, there was a clinic called the VIP, a neuro clinic, and they were short on money. So Mike was like, hey, David, I'm going to raise some money for you. I'm going to ride my bicycle from San Francisco to San Diego. And he's, well, Dad, how's anybody going to know what you're doing? And Mike was, I don't know, I'm just going to do it and ask people to raise money. So they started on Facebook talking and doing some stuff. So then the next year, Mike reached out to some buddies he went through training with, and they got together and rode bicycles from Virginia Beach, where the other coast where the teams are located, down to Fort Pierce, Florida, where the UDT SEAL Museum is. And now there's a UDT SEAL Museum here in San Diego, too. So that was a 1,000-mile ride. And after that, Conrad was, okay, I don't like bikes. I don't want to do this. Let's do something that's going to get us more into what activities that we did in the teams.
Yeah.
All right. So they started paddling an outrigger canoe. And so we paddle the outrigger canoe with, there's a lot of outrigger canoe clubs around. Well, there's one called San Diego Outrigger Canoe Club that we paddle with, and they've helped us. James, the coach there, has been immensely supportive. The whole club there has been very supportive of helping us learn how to paddle and get stuff going. And we paddle right here in Mission Bay.
Wow.
So
did he started beyond the teams at that point, and so he started. You guys decided, hey, we're going to do paddling to raise money for beyond the teams, and then beyond the teams. Who does that raise money and then give money out, or how does it work?
Yes, we're a charity that we raise money for other charities.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we just look. None of us like doing the fundraising, asking people for money.
Right.
And look, I own a company, and people owe us money, and I do. I've got a hard time of saying, look, buddy,
it's uncomfortable.
Could you pay your bill, please?
Yeah, really. It's uncomfortable. I get it.
Yes.
So this is doing the paddling is an easy way to say, hey, come support us. Look what we're doing. Get the word out. That sort of thing. It's a little bit of an easier task, I guess.
Yeah. So we've done a 300-mile paddle,
Wow.
150-mile paddle. And now where all those were different, kind of like the shirt. Last year we did the Molokai crossing. And we went and that's a race that's done every year, the Molokai Hoi, and it's done in the traditional Hawaiian boats from Molokai to Oahu.
Wow.
It's about 42 miles across the channel. And
that must have been. Were you on that? Did you do that?
Yes, we did that last year.
How amazing was that, being in an outrigger out in the middle of the ocean? 42 miles. There's most of that race, you don't see land, right?
Well, you take off and you're looking at a little bit of Molokai, and then you pass that and you're in the channel and you're looking at Oahu.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, you're looking, you can see it, but it's
tiny.
So it's cool, and getting back out on the water has been, the paddling. It has helped me immensely through injuries and all that I sustained throughout my career.
Talk about that. What do you mean it's helped you?
Like running, I can't run. I haven't been able to run for years. Knees too bad. Hurts the back, the jolting. Riding, just the bicycle. It's been, hurts. Just even working out. Swimming, due to some shoulder injuries, I can't swim freestyle more than 50 meters without now quitting and sinking to the bottom.
Geez, yeah. And that's all from your time being a SEAL?
Yes.
Yeah.
and doing things like, hey, hold my beer and watch this.
A little bit of that. How long were you in the Navy?
Just over 20 years.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't stop and think about, you think about your favorite athlete and maybe they played professional sports for 4, 5, or 6 years, something like that. Some of the big ones played for, 10 years or whatever. Meanwhile, you guys are going through the same rigors as a professional athlete, and you guys got to do a 20-year career. Like you got to do that for 20 years. And I don't think people really realize what a toll it takes on you physically. Guys that are, do a big career and something that physical in the military, they're limping, they're getting up slow, they're, it's.
Yeah, and with injuries and sports injuries, most people out there will understand this, that it's the soft ligament damage that actually is the prolonged hurt throughout the rest of your life. A bone, it breaks, it heals, and
good to go.
For the most part, yes.
So this helps. So doing this rowing, getting this helps you
paddling.
Or I'm sorry, paddling.
Yeah.
My apologies. Yeah. Doing the paddling, that helps.
Yes, because it's a full body exercise. We paddle, especially on the outrigger canoe, and the light ones that we use now. So our boat's 46 feet long, but it weighs about 125 pounds. So it's a carbon fiber. It's super light, and so you have the ama that's off to the left side, when the yakos that go from the canoe itself out to the ama that support it. Everybody, oh, that's your support for the boat. Yes, but if you just lean a little to the right, that thing's hooling, so it's flipping over, and it does it quick on they're called ULs, ultralights.
Oh wow!
So it's a learning, it's a balance, and the whole team. There's 6 guys in there. You're working together as a team with the paddle. Everybody's on the same stroke. You've got a guy that is doing the counting, so you're going to do so many strokes per side, and depending on the conditions and all, and then he yells out the command, and then everybody switches sides.
Oh wow!
And
how many people on the boat?
6.
6 people in the boat, and all 6 of you guys were SEALs at some point, or do you work other people in?
We work other people in. So
okay, sure.
When we had started the Beyond the Teams and what this was, Mike was like, okay, we want to do something to help the VIP clinic. But then to get started, it was like, all right, we can raise money. So the UDT SEAL Museum, which there was only on the East Coast at the time, they helped us.
Nice.
And so the first couple of paddles, we were doing things to help support them. And their Trident House charities, their K9 program. So everything we're doing, we try to. It's typically been first responder or veteran first responder centric is kind of where we believe, and we want to help charities that are small and starting out. The big charities that are rolling along and get money coming in, they don't need help. They've got their big donors and they're coming in every year. So we're wanting to help little charities.
Nice.
So each year we try to do something a little different.
How do you guys? You just sit around and say, "I think we're going to help these guys this year," or is there a grant process, or how does that work?
It's kind of ones that are close to our heart. We talk and hey,
Sure.
We got something. Let's do that. Then we look into it and go, okay, yeah, this is legit. Let's help them out.
Nice.
And so each year we try to do something a little. We want to keep challenging ourselves also. Mm-hmm. So the Beyond the Teams was the name came up with to say, hey guys, there's stuff we can still do and work with each other since we're not in the teams anymore and we're not the young guys, but we can still do stuff together, that there is life beyond the teams.
There you go.
And and our motto is we're at our best when we're helping others be their best.
Wow.
So
Well, it's something. So these extreme activities that you've done and continue to do. I mean, a 46-mile paddle is something else. What do people not understand or would be surprised to hear when it comes to doing these extreme sports, extreme activities, that sort of thing?
Well, like this one that's coming up that we're going to do, we're kind of going, man, are we nuts? But now this race that we're going to be doing, it's been held for, I think, 22 years. It's called the MR 340. It's the Missouri River 340-mile paddle from Kansas City to St. Louis, all on the Missouri River.
Wow.
And you've got, I think it's 85 hours to complete it in. And there's stops, check-in points that you have to hit on the way to make it. I think the record is like 33 and a half hours that somebody did it solo.
On the Missouri, so they're not all using outriggers.
No, most of them are, it's usually a canoe, kayak.
They're in a canoe or a kayak.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing the outrigger? Or what
We're doing the outrigger.
That's it. Do you think you'll be the only ones on the Missouri River in an outrigger, or no, it's pretty common?
No, it's especially a six-man is not common.
It's not common. No. Okay, I was going to say, yeah.
So we had heard that there was another outrigger that was going to be on the river, but now it's not. So I think we will be the only six-man outrigger in this race at this time. And so the river, I think it's been canceled a couple of times through its history due to weather. Mm-hmm. The thunderstorms and tornadoes that typically come through this time of year through the middle of the country.
Yeah, they
right?
keep us all in San Diego.
Yeah. So you, like when we did the ocean races, the Molokai Hoi or some of the others, we usually have a crew of 12 guys. One, because we're all in the outrigger community, since we're all over 60, we're in the Golden Masters. So normally that outrigger race, the Molokai Hoi, is a 9-man. So because they're younger and you switch out while you're paddling underneath, because going along, it's typically like 2 to 3 guys jump in the water, and as the boat paddles up to them, the guys that are changing, they jump out the other side, and then the other ones jump in while it's still paddling and moving.
My gosh.
Since we're a little older, we almost come to a slide. We try not to stop because getting the momentum going again, especially in the heavier boat, is more challenging. Sure. So it's you want to keep the momentum going. Now this race, the MR 340, you have to start with, so since the boat holds 6, we can only have 6, and we don't have to finish with 6, but we can't add any new people.
Okay.
So this challenge is it's there's not a lot of room in these boats, so getting supplies, getting it rigged up so that we've got hydration, we've got food and all, and so we're hoping to finish this in under 50 hours.
Wow.
So
that'll be an accomplishment.
And that's the part where we're like, what are we going through Hell Week again? It's and hopefully, so
is it nonstop, or do you guys set up camp, or you just keep going?
Well, we will stop to replenish and maybe catch a 10-minute, nap or something. But we're just going to look to just keep going and continue paddling.
That's hardcore. How do people, if they want to support the organization, if they want to donate money to Beyond the Teams and support you in what you're doing, how do they do that?
It's the website's called beyondtheteams.org.
Nice, beyondtheteams.org.
Yes, there's a donate button on there, and I think that they even, the MR 340, their race site, which is I think mr340.org, because they're raising money, and what they've been doing is raising money to clean the Missouri River up. Oh, wow. So for the last 20 some years, that's where they've been raising money for the cleaning up of the river.
I didn't know. Is it heavily polluted, or just, hey, it's a good idea to keep the thing clean?
Well, through the years, I mean, it did become polluted, you know. And one thing about the Missouri, I mean, it's known as the Big Muddy. So it's always been.
How can you tell it's dirty? It's always
it's always had that the brown color, right. But you know, through the years, industry and everything, you know, from 50s, 60s, and all, people were just dumping into the water, right? Hey, it's not going to get it off the land, dump it into the water,
throw it in the water. So what was the old saying in I think it was the 60s and 60s? The old saying was the solution to pollution was dilution.
Yes.
So the more water you added to pollution, the better. So all right, well that's cool. That's good. So they're gonna clean it up. The proceeds from this race help that.
Yes.
And then you guys are gonna raise money and support other charities.
Yeah. So a charity that we're helping this year, it's called Camp David, and it is a camp that is focused on helping veterans, first responders, and families of that have been through traumatic experiences and all. And it was started by a former team guy named, he goes by, his name is David, but his full name is Walter David Disney, and he is
related.
Yes.
Oh wow.
But David, we called him Walt. He was in the teams. It was a few years behind me.
You guys called him Walt.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. And so he has started. I don't want to mess it up, but I believe he is a psychologist. Something where he's helping. And started this camp to start helping people.
That's cool. Good for him.
Yeah, so since we were starting in Kansas City, and that's where his facility is, that's why we decided, hey, let's
raise money for those guys.
to help them, and help him keep his doors open.
So, are you going downriver or upriver this race?
Downriver.
Okay, all right. Thank God, because upriver it would. That's even worse. That'd be almost impossible. I mean, it's and the Molokai. When I lived in Hawaii, I heard a lot about the Molokai Express, which was this. I guess the current would take you. It was something to be feared. Surfers didn't want to get too far out. Swimmers, divers, you certainly didn't want to get too far out because were you guys. You guys were going against that. You guys were coming to Oahu, so the currents were going against you, or no, not really.
It really kind of depends because the trade winds and everything, and on the surface. So a lot of times you've got the surface winds, and then you've got the currents. So a current and a tide, they're all different, right? So a lot of times sometimes they'll be like with each other. Sometimes they're against each other. So that's the thing about the ocean, the water. The old saying, you don't mess with Mother Nature, right? And I used to teach this course, Combat Swimmer, and a line I had gotten I had taught with was the ocean is unforgiving. You don't turn your back on the ocean. And you don't take it for granted,
Well, that's amazing. Sounds amazing in every sense of the word. What you guys are doing, the reason you're doing it, when you're out there and accomplishing after you've finished, the whole thing just sounds like, it just sounds amazing. That's really, really cool. Must be very rewarding, Dwight.
I hope to finish up, smile, get some sleep, maybe have a beer, get some sleep, and all, and then plan for the next one. One we want to do on the future is to paddle from Poole, England, across the channel to land at Omaha Beach.
Oh, wow.
That'll be 100 miles, but that'll be one that we'll be looking at.
That's you're going to wear a wetsuit for that one.
Probably not.
Probably not?
No.
That sounds like a cold journey, man. That sounds like a cold journey.
Yeah, so it'll probably be about the same time. Like the MR340 coming up, it's July 27th.
Yeah.
And, we're following in the path of Lewis and Clark. They came up the river,
Yeah.
and when they came back, they came down the river and staying at the same places. So the place we're taking off from there in Kansas City is called Call Point, and it's right where the Kansas and Missouri rivers meet. And then we're actually getting out in a place it's St. Charles, which is just outside St. Louis. And but some of the checkpoints and rest stops are where Lewis and Clark actually camped.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Okay, so everybody go to beyondtheteams.org and donate, help Dwight, help the organization do what they are doing. I think it's really, really amazing. Let's go to, I want to talk about your Seal One dealer pilot program. And my understanding is this is a pilot program. It's not for every shop. It's mostly for ranges that have a firearm rental fleet. And the idea is that's the ultimate proving ground when it comes to, cleaner and lubricant.
Correct. So we've now started our 16th year in business, and one of the things that people have found, and it's been proven through these 16 years, is how well the product works, and it reduces your maintenance time and everything. So, for gun ranges and, gun rentals, if it's not working, then it's not performing, it's not making you money.
Right.
Right. So, and you don't want your staff spending a lot of time having to clean.
Yeah.
And, so this using the product, as people have been using it, know that it's like, oh, wow, okay, I can get a lot more rounds through without cleaning. And then when I do clean, it's easy. And malfunctions, one thing with this, because most malfunctions are, the majority of them are due to carbon buildup. Well, our product does not allow the carbon to build up. So that's reducing those malfunctions right there. We've had people tell us that, oh man, I've been using this pistol, and it just notoriously, or even AR type rifle, that they just notoriously, jam.
Yeah.
Right. It's just they.
You're saying they've told you, like my gun, this particular gun, jams.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah.
That's what I know it for. That's its personality. Its nickname is Bob Marley because it's jamming.
Yes.
I gotcha. All right. But after then they use Seal One and
those issues go away.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And a lot of the firearms that have the really tight tolerances, people they're like going, oh, these need to run wet. It's got to be lubricated. The wet, you got to see the lubrication, or you're going to start having issues. And so that's where we've actually had people come back and say, well, look, I started using your product, but I couldn't see the lubrication on there, so I had to go back to using my other product. And it was like, well, okay, how many times did you try it? Well, just once, because I couldn't see the lubrication on there. So it was like, all right, well, then you actually
didn't try it.
Yes, you
you didn't do it right.
Yeah, you didn't put it through its paces, and it's like it's kind of it's a belief, like faith is just a belief. You have faith in it, right?
Right.
Well, it's like, look, have faith in this product because it's going to work. I mean, we've got 16 years behind us.
Yeah, and okay, so the idea is if you're a range and you have a rental fleet, you want to get a hold of Seal One for their pilot program. You want to try their Seal One on the rental fleet because you're saying, hey, it's going to reduce the number of times you have to clean. It's going to reduce malfunctions, which you never want, usually the people that are renting a gun are new to firearms, and you don't want them experiencing a malfunction. I mean, not just so they'll have a better experience, but they're, for safety reasons, you don't want a malfunction on your rental fleet.
Yeah, and you don't want to give them a filthy firearm.
You don't want to give them a filthy firearm, exactly. And it's true. I've definitely talked to folks who run ranges. There are guns I decided to not buy because people who run rental fleets told me, no, that thing, it's always in the shop. It jams. So this is truly a proving ground for Seal One. And you're saying, look, we're confident. We know that this is going to be the best cleaner and lubricant you have ever used, so use it on your fleet. Is that the idea?
Yes. And so the dealer pilot, the program is like, look, guys, if you want to do this, we'll send you some product for you to test. Now you can run an apples to apples comparison against what you've been using and use this. So take some of your problematic firearms and then do this and compare it to how it had been performing and the others with whatever product you have on there. And just start using it.
So you'll send it. It's not. Is there a startup cost?
No. If somebody wants to do this, we will send them. A couple of.
Wow.
I think it's sending out a couple of ounces of the paste and liquid, and and something. It's like, look, try this.
Free trial. Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not giving you a year supply.
Yeah.
To.
But a free trial, and then once it proves itself, which you're confident it will, then hey, become a customer. That's the idea.
Yes,
that's awesome. All right, cool. How do people who are interested? How do they find? If you're a range, if you're running a range and have a rental fleet and want to get involved in that, how do they find you?
At seal1.com. They can go on there. They can email us at info@seal1.com. Say we're interested in the dealer pilot program. We've got little things that are popping up on the website, or as I said, I mean, even if they just email info@seal1.com, we're interested in your dealer pilot program. And look, and I don't want to say this is really even just for the ranges, I mean, if a gun shop is interested and, they don't have a range, but they're interested in trying it, we'll
reach out.
Sure. Reach out and let's look, you guys try this. And so, like the gun rag, our pre-saturated gun cloth that we came out with, right?
Yeah, which by the way was my dad's Father's Day present this year. I got him that.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. When people are, you're showing firearms, right? And people are touching them and feeling them. And look, some people are very acidic. You can just touch the firearm and 5 minutes later or whatever, now it's rusted fingerprints on the firearm. Well, our product helps eliminate that.
Gotcha.
When we were, the Pennsylvania State Police have been using our product exclusively 2017, I believe it was, because it was right around 2015, 2016. They did a 16-month test program on about 10 different products so that they could determine what to use. Right. And it came down and they chose our product.
Congratulations.
So when I went back there and was talk with the firearm guys at their academy, one of the guys, big skeptic because he's very acidic. He goes, look, when I have to clean a firearm, he goes, well, just when I'm touching mine, I wear gloves because when I'm touching it, if I put it in the holster without a glove and I walk around throughout the day, I come back and it's rusted. So I demonstrated the use of the product, and then it was like, we were going to go out for lunch and look at some other things and then come back. He went back and I was watching him. He picked up the gun and he was touching it all over, and the one we had just cleaned. And then we left. And when we came back a few hours later, he beelined it for that firearm. And I was watching, and he's picking up, he's looking it over, and I just find any fingerprints, any rust. And he was, no. Wow. He goes, I've never had that happen to me before.
Beat the skeptic.
Yeah. So,
okay. Okay. So Seal One, info@seal1.com, and that's seal, the number 1.com.
Correct.
Email, check out the website. Also go to beyondtheteams.org and support. We got a lot of to-dos for you, listeners. Help Dwight out. Help him out with his charity work, and check out Seal One. I use it. I use it exclusively. I really like it. Like I said, I just bought my dad the rag and some of the cleaning products. I think it's great. So check it out. So Dwight, thank you for doing all that you do, man. I really appreciate it, and thanks for taking the time. Well,
thanks. I appreciate this. Like one of the things that we do at Seal One also is, we're, as we help support you guys, but there's other charities and things that we do around the country to help, because as it's what we say at Beyond the Teams, we're at our best when we're helping others be their best. And so I don't put it on the packaging that 10% of all proceeds go to charities, because it's something that we've done from the beginning. Our first years in business, we've given more than 10% every year.
I have no doubt.
It's just...
you guys put your money where your mouth is, and I really, truly appreciate it. I've seen it firsthand, and I got to tell you, you guys are fantastic. So check it out, seal1.com or beyondtheteams.org. Support them both. And Dwight, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, man.
Thanks a lot. Good seeing you again.
So when you're using it on your firearms, because it takes about 3 cleanings, so I like to say it's a clean shoot process, much like seasoning a cast iron skillet. So you're going to field strip your firearm, break it down, and then you're going to put our product on piece by piece by piece, covering the entire firearm. Then you're going to take the barrel, you're going to clean the barrel inside of that, and then you come back and you wipe it all off, and you're done. It's that easy. Remember, Seal One and done.
Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media, and check out our website at gunownersradio.com.